So our first topic we can get into. So we've seen more information and details come out about the new MK movie. So it's going to be releasing in April in theaters and HBO Max. It's going to be interesting to see how many people actually go see it in theaters versus subscribing to HBO Max to make sure they see that. But besides that, we have new info that came out. We got to see the steals that came out before the trailer. With everybody joking that Jax looks like Steve Harvey or Mr. Potato Head. Um, and just so many other things that we take it from it. We don't have Liu Kang is not the main character. Anybody from that we know from MK isn't the main character. We got a new main character. So an old a retired or washed up MMA fighter, things like that. So and then the trailer came out and we got to see the trailer. So how are you guys feeling about this so far at this point, with all this info that we've seen, everything up to now? Give us your take, starting with you, Mr. Gaming Live.
Man, I don't know, man. All I gotta say is survey says, because that's the first thing that came to mind when I saw Jax. I'm just like, I can't take him serious, man. Like, I don't know. I just really don't understand what it is when it comes to Hollywood or whoever is making, like, whenever a entity like a game or anime or cartoon or something is turned into like a movie or live action, it's usually terrible. Like, there have been so many cases. Like, the first MK movies weren't the greatest. Honestly, the best MK like thing that I think that's come out is MK Legacy, I believe. That was awesome. You look at that and you're just like, how do people with like these super big budgets and stuff like not get it right? You have a blueprint. You literally have a blueprint from like 2 decades of worth of source material to come from, and you like, well, I mean, we could make Jackson like he did in MK11, or we could just make him look like Steve Harvey's son. Let's make him look like Steve Harvey's son. I don't get it. Like, some of it looks decent. Like they've shown like Scorpion and Sub Zero, and they're kind of taking it back to the roots when they were human and stuff. Well, at least when Scorpion was human, before Sub Zero had his cryomancy powers and stuff of that nature. They showed Kano, he looks okay. Sonya, she looks okay, but it's like, I don't know, man. They just can't. Is that they just can't seem to get it right. Um, it just seemed like and when it comes to fighting games, I don't think there's been one fighting game movie that I can think of that was like decent. Like, maybe like I said, maybe the older MK movies were okay. Dead or Alive was trash from what I remember. The Legend of Chun Li was terrible. Um, like, the original Street Fighter movie was bad. As a kid, I was like, oh, it's Street Fighter, it's a movie, cool. But when I got older, I'm like, this is garbage. Like, first of all, why do we have John Claude Van Damme playing Gal? He's not,
Yeah.
like, come on, man. It's like what are you guys thinking?
Bro, what was wrong with Jean Claude Van Damme playing Guile, man? Everybody like Jean Claude, bro. He do
That's
splits.
true. He wasn't even American. Gal is an American. Gal has a tattoo of the American flag on his shoulders. That's how American he is. But I don't know. Tekken didn't have a good movie.
Bro, what's more American than a roundhouse kick?
This guy.
I don't know, man. All I got to say is when it comes, I would just like to see a fighting game get good treatment when it comes to a movie or something or adaptation. It just, even I think King of Fighters had something and it was bad. I'm just like, they just like,
Yeah.
they don't even try. Like, they don't even try. They'll be like, oh, who's the main character in this? Terry Bogard. Oh, we're gonna have him. Who's gonna have to play Terry Bogard? Hugh Jackman, but he don't look nothing like Terry. Hugh Jackman is playing Terry Bogard. Okay, I mean, he's a little too rugged for that, but hey, he played Wolverine. Okay, cool. It's just like, I don't know. So we'll just see. I have high hopes that okay, I ain't gonna say I have high hopes, but I have hopes that it'll be good. But I'm not really like thinking too much about this. It's probably gonna come out and just be a afterthought. Honestly, I might see it like on a pass by, but I'm definitely not like making an effort to actually go see it. I'm just, from what I'm seeing now. Nope, not gonna happen.
Okay, so yeah, number one, you are correct. Most of the fighting game movies in the past have been complete trash. Um Mortal Kombat, the first one was okay.
Yep.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation was whack. Dead or Alive was whack. King of
Mhm,
Fighters was whack.
mhm.
Tekken was whack. Even though they had the guy that played Shang Tsung as Heihachi, it was still kind of whack. Um, Street Fighter. All right. So here's the deal with Street Fighter. Street Fighter, the first one, is so over the top and comic booky that it's kind of hard to just, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to hate on it, especially now looking back, it's kind of hard to hate on it because it's so over the top and cartoony, I mean, like Raul Julia as Bison. I mean, he was so great. I mean, despite the fact that he was completely over the top, he was great. He was great. Um, Jean-Claude Van Damme was okay. He wasn't horrible, but he was okay. But I like the first Street Fighter movie, especially after you watch The Legend of Chun-Li, which is probably one of the worst fighting game movies that I have ever seen in my life. It is absolutely awful. My Everybody in that movie should be ashamed of what they did in that movie. They need to like everybody. If I was in that movie, I'd have been like, if I'd have been the main character, like let's say that for some reason they got me to play Chun-Li, right? I'd have been like, oh, okay, well, that's the movie we made. Hey, listen, just uncredit me. Don't even credit me as playing Chun-Li. Just don't even have no, dude, don't even do it because I don't want my name on this movie. Don't put me in the trailers. Don't no. Mm-mm. Anyway, back to the main point. The MK movie, first off, looks like it's going. I mean, to me, it looks like it's going to be kind of cool. It looks like it's going to be it's going to be more closer to the amount of violence that we would see in the actual video games, as opposed to like how it was in the old movies where they couldn't really get away with that as much because number one, it's kind Mortal Kombat, despite the amount of violence in it, it was still kind of a kids game, and they couldn't really do that. Like it's kind of a movie that's it's PG-13, so there's only a certain like they can only go so far with it, So I mean, the bar's been kind of raised for the amount of violence that people kind of put on in movies and TV and stuff like that. So maybe we might like I saw some of the stuff that they had in the trailer, and I was like, oh, okay, they're kind of skewing a little bit more towards the video games now, so that's good. They're gonna have Louis Tan as the main character, who, in my opinion, in everything that he's been in, he's always been one of the best parts. For instance, I don't know if you guys saw Iron Fist, the show on Netflix. Was He was the drunken master dude, like the drunken dude in Iron Fist, and he was really good in that role. He was freaking cool, and he does all of his own stunts. He's just a generally cool dude who does really cool roles. He does a good job. He did a good job in that. He did a good job in Into the Badlands. Like every time I mean, and when Into the Badlands, when I saw him get into the show, I'm kind of waiting for like Nick Frost and Danny Wu to come back on the screen, but I'm also waiting to see Louis Tan again. I'm like, yo, like these are the people that I kind of want to see in the show. So, and he was really good in that too. So he's always one of the best parts of everything he's in. And this is like, I think this is his first like actually main character starring role in any movie. So it's kind of nice to be like seeing like, because he's been like on shows and stuff for a hot minute. So it's kind of nice to see him doing this thing. He does his own stunts. He's a martial artist. So we're definitely going to get a lot of really good action in the movie out of him. I'm actually really hyped to see like what kind of a high flying awesome stunts they let him do in the new Mortal Kombat film. I'm really excited for the film, to be honest with you. And I will actually be seeing it. I'm going to make a conscious effort to make sure that I go out and watch the movie, whether it be like online wherever, just to at the very least to support our boy Louis Tan, because he deserves his own time in the spotlight, and I think he's going to do a really good job. I think everybody should like go out and at least give the movie a chance, especially because we've had some not great movies and fighting games in the past, and I think this is a good chance for us to like kind of reboot and kind of move forward with fighting game movies.